what's going on here? Oh, by the way, welcome back. We have progressed. We are now into the modern knights, and well, relatively modern knights. Uh, I'll let this explain what's going on as it goes here at the very beginning.
Arise, thou art in grave danger.
Where is she?
Who?
Trifle not with me, servant of the Zamitsi, for the hunger is so great in me. I would gladly squeeze all thy blood from thee, and still not be sated. Where is Aneska?
I don't know any Ineska.
Where is thy master? For if such a one as I survived, surely the ancient Vukadlok endures still.
I don't know anybody named Vukadlok.
Thou speaks the language of England, but in a manner most passing strange. Who is thy master mortal?
I'm with the Society of Leopold.
Okay.
I know them not.
Society of Leopold.
We slay vampires.
Oh, vampire killers. Not very good at her.
My name is Christoph Romuald. I was a man of God and a soldier in heaven's cause. I am now outcast of heaven, and not even a man. I am kindred. I am a vampire.
Okay, so I won't give away too much of how we ended up here or what's going on, because it is given away in, or explained in things you find and stuff in this. Yeah, I'll just kind of let that go. But we are, as I said, in the Modern Knights. We are in the basement of the Society of Leopold, which it will explain what that is as it goes, so I won't get ahead of ourselves here. And we're going to have to figure out how to get out of here. And you see all these random things that we had. You keep your mystic items that you'd found, but not all the other stuff. So the letters from Aneska and all that other stuff that would be kind of neat to have, we don't, unfortunately, still have.
From the journal
Here we go.
of Fatherly Relations, Society of Leopold.
Give me just a second. I will be right back.
Lord, my research is paid off. The fools who laughed at me won't be laughing now. Won't the leaders of the Society of Leopold be chastened to learn that I have uncovered the location of Viscerad Castle?
Where am I?
Sorry about
What
that. I had to go
sorcerers of
turn my
like
thermostat
this?
down real quick.
Aneska.
I'm sitting here with the windows open for a December day in upstate New York. It's actually relatively warm out, so I got the windows open for some fresh air. And don't want the heat running.
A vampire!
Unfortunately, as you see, all of the Society of Leopold members have the exact same voice in this, which gets kind of annoying pretty quick, but they're easy to deal with. This is kind of like with the escaping from the Teutonic Knight thing, where you just keep using your range disciplines. However, they do have some stuff that can do pretty good damage to you. I do take some pretty good damage during the course of this, but I don't get killed or anything. More than enough access to blood to keep healing myself. I do pick up a few weapons and things, not with the intent of using them, but selling them later on, and then a few of them I end up dropping because they're kind of wasting space in my inventory. But this one, at the very beginning of this, I don't have a lot to say because I want to let it explain what's going on as it goes, because, you know, you've come from the 1100s, all of a sudden you're in the year 1999, and last you knew you were in the basement of a castle in Prague, and now you're in the basement of a, you know, where the hell are you in London here? So this is it is kind of won't say disconcerting, but disorienting, and I'm going to kind of leave it that way. I do pick up the clips because I was intending to pick up a pistol and use it just for the hell of it, but I don't end up finding any good ones, so I just go ahead and
August
drop those
1999.
eventually.
The Prague excavation is finally on schedule. The kindred resting places have finally yielded up their secrets. We've gotten the crates of earth to London without troubling customs.
And these entries are a little bit out of order because you're getting them from a couple of different perspectives. They kind of overlap and backtrack each other as they go, but it does do a good job of explaining what's going on. So apparently the Society of Leopold, whatever that is, which I know what it is, and you watching this might know what it is, but Christoph has no idea. Apparently for some reason they were excavating Masquerade Castle. And came across Christoph and brought him back for some reason. That's a little odd, but let's go and keep going here and see why and what's going on with this. At some point when I can find a better weapon, I'll probably stop using this Ankern sword, because as you see when I do use it in the fights here, it is so slow. However, thankfully, even without having any armor or anything on, projectile weapons, as you see, he takes a blast from a shotgun, and that's all the damage he takes. They don't really do a ton of damage here, so... Eventually, I will say the hell with this and start using some of his more ranged attacks with his disciplines, but for now, I'm just kind of trying to work my way through this and see what we got. And you can go through this pretty quick, work your way out, but because, as I've mentioned before, kind of my whole point in doing this is I want to show the story of it. So I'm making sure I go through and pick up any of the little story expository bits that are explaining what's going on here. Yeah, as you see here, I'm picking up things as I go, and that thing really doesn't do me any good, some of this stuff, so I do end up getting rid of a few things here and reorganizing my inventory. Some of this stuff I just held on to sell it, and then ended up not, so I really don't have any need for it. I thought I'd cut this part out, sorry about that, the fidgeting around with the inventory here, trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I end up just getting rid of that thing, I think. Or at least just rearranging my inventory here to make room for it for a moment, and then I end up getting rid of it after all. You see he's got none of his armor or anything that he had, so all gone. Nope. I know I have a bunch of things to pick up plot and expository wise. I'm trying to make sure I have room to pick them up, and then I can go through them in order.
Who's that?
You'll see at one point at the very end of this, I do go a little bit out of order picking up and backtrack to find the right one before I read what I just picked up, because I'm trying to keep it in order so you can understand what's going on if you're not familiar with this. As I say, I was planning on picking up a pistol, but all I keep finding is those common ones, and I know they're not the most useful things here. Briefly consider putting it on, then just nah. I think I had something that I didn't identify. I think it was that finger or something I never actually identified, but I end up getting rid of it anyway, so I'm not real worried about it. You'll notice, too, by the length of this one, this is a long one, not just for the amount of time it takes to get through this, but I do continue on with some of the plot things, meet our first coterie member, and go right up until you start the next portion of this part of the game here. So I go through the, the first couple of shops and stuff that you go to and things like that. And I think, skip over one little bit of dialogue, but it's a stupid, pointless bit of dialogue that doesn't really contribute anything to the story, so I just cut it. Or skip through it, I can't remember which it is, so you can see it pop up and read it if you want, but... We also lost all of the money we had from the previous ones, so we had to pick up everything we can possibly get to sell here. Because, as those of you who, live in this time know, even though this is 1999, things are much more expensive than they were in the medieval period. I think I do end up bypassing a few spots that I could have gone down into, like there. And I don't remember if there was anything in there worth picking up, but I just say the heck with it and go through this. I could have gone down there, but I don't remember it being anything important, so I didn't. And I didn't miss any of this plot exposition stuff, so apparently it wasn't anything real good in there. These are just ghouls, so even though they have, or even mortals, but anyway, actually these are just mortals, so they're, one theft of vitae for one dead.
Now burns me.
So I get in the habit of just anytime I get into a fight, I heal and then go back to theft of
Journal
vitae,
entry,
you
October
see.
1999. We've been driven off the dig. Damn Zamitsi. We've lost half our forces. Back to England to regroup. Still, Dr. Alatius is oddly optimistic.
Okay, and then the later ones you find backtrack and explain what led to this, but I read them in the order that I find them and that they are, so it kind of fills in as it goes.
The doctor knows best.
So now you know that they were digging in Viscerad and found you and brought you back, but you don't know anything more than that at the moment. You do, as I say, eventually find out more of what's going on. I think I skipped.
I'm sending you to hell.
Yeah, they have flamethrowers, but they're not the most accurate weapons in the world. And as you see, hilariously, they do less damage than the shotgun. You'd think lighting somebody on fire would do more damage than a couple of shotgun bullets. Yeah, I did skip a few rooms down here. I don't think I missed anything all that important, but I may have. But even as long as this is, it could have been longer. So, if I did miss anything important, oh well. Yeah, I was thinking those might have been like the gauntlets, but they're not, so I just get rid of them. Don't need those. This is also one of those ones that every time I play this, I don't remember this stage being as long and monotonous as it is. It is. Of course, it could also be because of the previous times I've played this, I know what's going on, so I'm not stopping to grab all of these journal entries and notes and everything else along the way. I just want to get the hell out of here and get on with the story. Another one. Guy, give me your money. His clothing is in pretty good shape for being in the ground for 800 years.
I'm sending you straight to hell. Who's that?
This is a firing
To the
range.
abyss with me! Back off, bloodsucker! I'm sending you to hell!
And just one guy with a shotgun. You'd think if you walked into a firing range in the middle of a thing like this, there'd be more people in here with guns that would turn and shoot at you, but whatever. And this is where I'd already decided I'm not going to pick up any more of that stuff. Eventually do get rid of it. Make room.
You are abyssing away!
Sorry if you hear a bit of background noise while I'm doing this. While I'm sitting here, because this is so long, I'm trying to avoid just rambling, so I'm going to open up a package that just arrived today and check it out. So sorry if that makes a bunch of noise that you hear, but right now it's kind of explaining everything I would need to explain with the things you find, but I'll explain more as we get into things here.
Smeeds conspire against not just the other clans, but against the antediluvians and Cain himself, and against God in an ultimate battle that dares them
I do think now in retrospect I did miss something, but you get the gist of what's going on.
In the last days after the Delvish, an ancient finding all that was good and pure. He posed a threat to the ancient order of Cainites and was cast into deep torpor. But his loyal Smitsi followers conserved his power for centuries and sought to resurrect their dread lord.
Your dread lord, I love that. Ugh. This is where I start having to go through and okay, I gotta get rid of some shit.
From the Journal of Father Leo Walatius, Society of Leopold. Today, plunged into Viscerad Castle with 3 fire teams of expensive mercenaries, fully expecting to find a hive of Tzimisce cultists. Imagine our surprise when we found the ruins deserted and utterly intact. This despite the fact that several of Vukadlak's faithful followers survived the Night of Fire and seek to resurrect their lord. This is proof that God favors me above all others.
So apparently that castle was so badly torched and damaged that night and so much was done to it that they pretty much abandoned the site and it was forgotten by history, which seems kind of weird. But, okay. Seems kind of odd that something that big would just, that was right outside of the city of Prague would just be abandoned and forgotten like that, but, yeah, video game. From what I remember, this whole Vukadlak thing and everything really doesn't appear anywhere else in the canon lore, like it's not in any of the novels or mentioned in any of the source books that I've ever seen. You'd think something that big, if it had happened within the canon lore, would have been mentioned and talked about somewhere. I mean, Kristoff pops up in the novels, so you'd think that this thing that led to his creation and him finding his way into the modern knights and everything would have been remembered, but apparently it was not. I mean, I can see, like, Aneska being forgotten and stuff. She was, you know, as far as anybody else outside this main story is concerned, she was a nobody. Nothing that was worth remembering. But you'd think Vukadlak and all that stuff would be. And, as I say, the giant castle right outside of the city of Prague that was, you know, destroyed in one night of fire by humans. You'd think somebody would have remembered that. But, okay. We're using up some of these blood bags, I think, just to get rid of them soon. But let's see.
Who's that? That burns me. Who's that?
The water of life now burns me.
Nothing more on the computers or anything here. But trust me, you really do want to pick up any cash you can find from these guys, because you are going to need it. You need to start all over again with your weapons and armor and everything, and once you make it to the modern, none of the stuff carries over except for your mystical items. Which is great because you still have this sword, but it's not the greatest thing in the world. And as you can already tell, a lot of these people you're running into are carrying ranged weapons that get more dangerous as the game goes. So you definitely need some armor. This is where I start saying, screw this. I can always get more blood.
I'm sending you straight to hell. Back off, bloodsucker. I'm sending you to hell.
Guys with stakes, they really aren't all that effective. They don't really do anything to you. I mean, if they manage to connect, it's hard, but if they manage to connect, they can temporarily stun you. It doesn't permanently put you into torpor, but it can temporarily stun you, making you more vulnerable to other attacks. See, now we're starting to get into stuff that looks a little more developed. You're not down in the forgotten base, shipping basement of this place. You're getting more into the work areas and the living areas of this society.
The Fall of Viscerad Castle. Further additions to the original by Father Leo Alatius. Viscerad Castle was once the heart of a pitched battle between humans and kindred scum. It marks the first time in recorded history that humans have successfully overthrown the bloodsuckers. They were burned, pulled from their havens, and left to bake in the sun. They call it the night the very demons shook the walls of the city, spewing flame and death. Those brave humans are our spiritual forefathers, because they started the Inquisition and burned countless vampires. Of course, there was a lot of collateral damage, but that's unavoidable. Though we call ourselves the Society of Leopold, I prefer the name Inquisition. It strikes.
See, there you go. There's the first little nugget. The Society of Leopold is the modern incarnation of the Inquisition, which obviously came along after Christoph's time. And he also mentions a little bit of the how they established the Masquerade, split into the Camarilla and Sabbat, da-da-da-da-da. And as they explain it, all of that stuff can be traced back to what happened in Prague, which, debatable, questionable, but it gives them a jumping off point for the plot of this.
World to this event. Therefore, I must uncover the legendary Viscerad Castle. Who knows what wonders it holds?
So there you go. This guy is, oh, he was standing there the whole time. This guy is in charge of this that you're probably working your way up to.
Viscerad Castle. Additions to the original by Brother Maynard of the Arcanum. In the 12th century, Ukedloc's cultists nearly succeeded in raising him from torpor. But the Bruja Prometheans, led by Ekaterina the Wise, crushed his plan and razed Viscerad Castle to rubble. Ekaterina conspired with the mortals of Prague, who had suffered the depredations of Vukodlak's followers. The mortals aided the Prometheans in the short term, but in the long run the kindred suffered. Ekaterina's act built up mortal opposition to vampires, which would soon culminate in the Inquisition.
I love when you're reading things, everything just stops and they stand there and let you read them. Now, hey, look at that. I already have that, so we can sell that later on, even though it's not worth a lot of money. Yep. I already have that. And there's another one, and this one's got a flamethrower.
Back off, bloodsucker. I'm sending you to hell.
As I say, I still find it funny that the flamethrower does so little damage. That's why I did pick up the incinerator with the thought of maybe using it, but then I see how little damage the thing does, and I'm just kind of like, you know what? No, that's kind of pointless. My fire abilities do much, much more damage than their man-made flamethrower does, so. And as I say, I can always find more Vitae. These guys don't really have much. This is a dormitory and there's nothing in it but a silver ring. Of course, they do view themselves as a modern version of the medieval holy orders to some extent, so, you know, the vow of poverty and all that, but meh.
Die! I can't wait to get a hold of some damn kindred. They'll burn like tinder.
I know it's supposed to be saying they'll burn like tinder, but it always sounded to me like they're saying they'll burn like chicken. This is, I think, coming... Yeah, this is coming up where I decide, you know what, I'm just gonna blast these guys with my abilities. I'm sick of this fighting one at a time thing. Especially with these modern weapons.
Life now burns me.
Life oozing away.
Not in this room, you see in the next one.
From the Journal of Father Leo Alatius, Society of Leopold, September 1999. Today we begin our excavation of Viscerad Castle in earnest. We had better find a lot of valuable artifacts and lore. This is costing me a fortune. Some large carved stones are proving very difficult to break through.
Okay, so September of '99 is when they begin their real excavations of Viscerad. I like how they just stand there watching flames rain down from the ceiling and kill their friends and they don't move. Excuse to burn up some of those plasma bags and make space in my inventory. Even worse, none of these guys really drop anything good. We're about halfway through now. We're toward the end of this part, but as I said, I keep it going, so. And there's all my blood back. Yay.
Who's that? I'm sending you straight to hell.
is also where you start getting back into where it's more a couple at a time rather than a whole room full of them like I just had to go through back there. Okay, can't get out that way yet. So up we go. And this is a pretty cool designed little house stage here. Like looks like reinforced metal walls, but at the same time it's pretty well appointed and pretty nice looking.
I'm sending you straight to hell.
Back up so I don't forget where I'm supposed to go.
Die, Empire! Die!
And see, I goof up a little bit because I should have gone through these side rooms one at a time because I have to backtrack, and in one of them is where I find the little bit of the expository that I had missed. So if I'd gone through those before working my way up the hall, I would have found it in order. But we still get her done.
Die, filthy beast!
Sorry, I was working outside all day today, so got a bit of a tickle.
They'll burn like tea.
Shoveling this morning just to have it all melt by everything I shoveled melt by the afternoon, but you don't know ahead of time, so I still had to clean it up. Yeah, this sword is not the greatest thing. At some point, if I can find one in the shop, I think I'm going to swap it out for a normal sword, something that's quicker and more accurate. I give my coterie members the ranged modern weapons, but I like to keep Kristoff with a melee weapon. Especially with bosses and stuff, being able to get in and duke it out with him a lot of the time works a lot better than a ranged weapon does. Now this guy is the boss, and he's just standing there waiting for you to approach him. I love this. He's watching you rip through people and now backtrack, and he's just standing there. Believe me, I'm not going to fight him and then have to fight my way out again, so let's go through and do that before we face him. I mean, if I wanted to just get out of here quick, I don't have to do this, as I mentioned, but I want to hit all the story stuff for you. So this takes me a minute to figure this out. You might be able to see how to open it already, because it took me a minute to realize, but I'm not real good with puzzles and stuff in games, so... See, that's number 5, and I don't have number 4, so I have to backtrack and figure out where the hell I missed that. This, however, I know, especially, I mean, it's kind of obvious since it's behind a locked door. There's that little hidden thing there. That is probably something important. I know where it comes in handy, but... you going through here probably don't on your first playthrough. You obviously have no idea what the hell that thing's for. But I know from previous playthroughs that that is a very, very important thing to have. Start getting rid of the stuff that's not worth holding on to. Your diamond necklace is worth something. A plain silver necklace is not. Also, I want to point out, if I don't do it in this because, but if you're going through and you need to make room in your inventory, the necklaces and rings, if you don't already have any like of the discipline and serenity and things like that rings, you can wear them. They up your some stats when you're wearing them, but okay, that's number 6, so I know that's not the one I need. So let's backtrack. But you can wear them, and then you sell them once you get to the shop, just to not be carrying them and taking up room in your inventory. But I didn't bother with that. Flamethrower. Let him hit the guy with the stake.
I'm sending you
There's the dude
straight
with
to
the
hell.
shotgun. There's a dude with a stake. Kill him. That Theft of Vitae is great when they run away, and there's a good chunk of cash sitting in there, so that wasn't bad to pick up. There we go, that's probably one too far in there.
I'm sending you straight to hell.
Okay, can't open that. What's anything in there worth taking? Nope. Now, it should be a good indication by all these Prison of Ice and everything else scrolls that you're finding that you're going to need that stuff.
From the Journal of Father Leo Ageless, Society of Leopold, October 1999. Damn! The Zamitsi drove us off my excavation, killed half my men. We barely got away with the artifacts we uncovered. I cannot believe the Lord allowed this travesty! Friar Ignatius insists that the large carved stones over the ruins were protective blessings placed after the fall of Viserat Castle.
So there's a little bit of an explanation of why it was abandoned. There is worth protective wards placed on it afterwards. The Shimasei couldn't get in until you destroyed them, and then once you get in, they're able to also pillage it. So they're able to get their hands on Vukodlak and whatever else was in there.
From the Journal of Father Leo Ageless, Society of Leopold. God has
A little bit of information going forward to give you a clue as to where you need to go and what's going on.
Still sleeping in deep torpor. He's a blaspheming heretic who wears the red cross of a crusader to mock all that is holy. I'll enjoy tormenting such an evil creature. I've shipped him to my estate, where I'll bind him and fatten him on fresh plasma. Then, engorged on his blood, I will hunt down the Zamitsi, who dare to steal artifacts that were rightfully mine. I know little about them, except that they have excavated a tremendous amount of earth from the site and shipped it to London, and from there, I think, to New York, the diabolical home of the Sabbat. They must be setting up a large operation to need so much earth from their homeland.
Okay, so there you go. That's apparently whatever they took to New York, which is not where you are. So clearly this is going to start in London, but you'll end up in New York.
Hello, filthy little kindred. I am Father Leo Ageless, and I have killed bloodsuckers like you for 200 years.
I have no wish to fight thee.
Then give up your blood without a fight. It will make a tasty addition to my collection. Early generation kindred, vintage 12th century, 1140. A good decade for Vitae.
I wish only to leave this place, but I will kill thee if I must.
Your time is dead, boy. You can never fit into this world. You have no one. You are nothing. Let us deliver you from this alien land of eternal loneliness and pain.
I did not endure for 800 years to die at thy behest.
And watch. I have to do quite a bit to this guy. He's tough. And he said in 200 years he's been killing kindred. So I was about to hit him with another lightning bolt before that finally hit, and I can't do anything with that. But you see, that is big things full of blood. What exactly is up with that?
From the Journal of Father Leo Alatius, Society of Leopold. These damned Zemitzi are proving very hard to find, since they hired the criminal Giovanni to make their shipments untraceable. Still, once the blood of my sleeping vampire courses through my veins, I'll find them and crush the sleeping vampire. Then, with the blood of Ukedlak in my veins, I'll be able to destroy all vampires. Of course, I don't mean all vampires. I'll require a well-maintained flock of imprisoned vampires.
Okay, so this guy is a ghoul, and, well, clearly a ghoul, but he's also just a wee bit knuckin' futz.
Then I'll have life eternal, without succumbing to the curse of Cain. This will take time.
So he not only wants to kill all vampires except for ones he has imprisoned to draw blood from, he wants to kill all the other vampire hunters so that they don't kill his vampires that he's drawing blood from, so he can be the all-powerful one. Yeah, that's a little screwy.
Tomorrow we try to feed the vampire without awakening him.
Yeah, he planned on using your elder blood to keep him going. So yeah, this guy's a little wonky. I see, that's a little more handy, but I think do I end up taking that? I don't remember. That's a little more handy than a regular pistol, but yeah, I do take that. And then I think I end up selling it anyway. Yeah, I wish you could. That almost, I wonder if they didn't find the thing that you'd found and had to give to Orvis, because that looks just like what you found in the Tremere Chantry there. The little blue amulet there.
Stand thy ground.
Yeah, I just noticed I didn't have a thing set, and I just, for safety, clarity's sake, I just wanted to hit that and make sure when I go out into public I don't start attacking people, because I don't know for sure, remember for sure if that affects you or just your coterie.
Who's that?
Yeah, there's really nothing to pick up in these rooms, but I do still check to make sure. Die, shotgun dude. Health back up. Yeah, just to take a look, but I don't think there's anything here. Nope, just a pile of wood over there. He drops a pistol, which I don't bother picking up. Yeah, this is like a receiving area at the front of the house. And make our way out. Normally I would leave it off here, but I didn't.
Now is all my reason thrown down. Surely my sleep hath made me mad, for if I'm yet sane, then the world has become a lunatic asylum. Towers of glass loom over the tallest cathedral spires. Juggernauts of steel hurtle through the streets of London. The cobbled Roman roads, which once I walked as a young crusader, are now fused into a single ribbon of black stone. And those roads are clogged with night-walking Londoners, heedless of the danger from the vampires among them. Are they so emboldened by the phantom torches, which pierce the night and stab my eyes? Surely my world has died, and all I love lies buried with it.
I love he mentions all the people walking heedlessly around in the night, and not paying any attention to the vampires among them, and yet there's not a person out here. Where does he see all these people? Eventually you do start seeing them, but where he's standing, there's nobody.
My garments have moldered away with age, as my body would have, were I not one of the damned. I cannot wander the streets clad thus. I have need of suitable garments.
Oi, you need a lot more than some new clothes, you freak.
You need to hand over your wallet.
I know not thy language, but thy intent is clear from the mask that obscures thy eyes. Thou art a common cutpurse.
Now, clearly he speaks English. I think we were alluding to is the fact that this guy is,
shall give
with
thee
his
my blade
accent and
instead.
the wording he's using, he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. He just
Ow,
walked slowly after this guy without a sword in his
You
hand.
need clothes, right? I got clothes, or you take them. Just don't hurt me.
I thank thee for this gift. Go forth, but steal no more.
Right. Okay, I'm going.
Okay. So now we've got clothes on. And since I saw it was right there somewhere. Where was it? It was over here. Let's go into the shop.
Hail
Talk
and well
to
met,
Mr.
people of the
Montague.
curio shop. I am Christoph.
Well, well, well. What have we here?
Thy shop displays items of great import. We would examine thy wares.
Very well then, Sumner Montague at your service.
Now, if you pick up your code, remember, before you go in and talk to him, it kind of can tell that he can see a little bit of what you are or what's going on. It's very apparent when you go in with your if you go in for the first time with your coterie members. He knows fully well what you are, which is kind of cool. Yeah, that ain't worth much, but I got no use for it. And he doesn't really have anything worth picking up, I don't think. But at least I got myself a decent chunk of change now. Yeah, that's too expensive.
A pleasure serving you, Christoph. Good day. Do come back when you have more trinkets. Or more cash.
Now, you'd think since he has weapons and armor on display, you'd be able to buy them from him, but nope. It's basically just the modern version of Unorna's shop. I can't remember. I think I do end up going the right way, but I'm not sure where I'm supposed to go here. There's a map I could call up, but I don't. So, ooh, there's glowing lights in that place. Let's go see what that is. Nobody notices you just running around with a giant sword. You'd think the cops would have something to say about that. So,
We have a wide selection of vitae for your dining pleasure. We have blue-collar brews,
Okay.
white-collar cocktails, and pink-collar daiquiris. We've got young blood, old blood, tainted blood, and blue blood. We've got innocence, we've got experience, uptown, downtown, Park Avenue matrons, and Bowery wino. Our special of the day is a succulent free-range virgin, fresh off the bus from Iowa, free of additives and preservatives. You'll find it a tart blend with a crisp and refreshing afterbite.
that's a little weird, but you can buy blood here, so that's good to know. And he won't buy any of your other stuff, though. So, what's this gentleman
Bottoms
standing
up.
here?
Blood's a bit diluted here, eh? What, you fresh out of the grave? Newly embraced? You look it, with that deer in the headlights look pasted on your gob.
Do not presume to mock me, whelp. I am far older than thou knowest, and have no patience for the likes of thee.
Well, well, well. Oi, barkeep! Get this antique bloodsucker a swig of vitae, courtesy of Pink of Clara Brugia. Don't water it down, you mortal worm.
Without throwing anything away, I'll just say, and here we see our modern
Here at the back of the
brouhaha,
picture.
quote unquote. You'll
Thou
find
art
out later
Bruja?
what I mean by that.
Art thou a Promethean?
Ha! You must be a fossil. The Prometheans are ancient history. Those nutters are long dead, along with their utopian ideals. What a load of batshit that was. What's your name, you crusty old relic?
Forgive me. I am Christoph Romuald.
Oh, Christoph Romuald.
Christoph Romuald, once of the Order of the Sword Brethren. Once a Promethean Bruja, and now Now I know not what. Weary. Alone. And
Damned I can't help. But no one is alone with old Pink around. Especially not a fella Bruiser. Here's to Christoph, the last of the Prometheans. Welcome to the new world, Squire. Hope you like what we done with the place. So, where will you be creating your Promethean paradise on Earth, Squire?
all I wanted was to be with my Inesca.
A bit of crumpet, eh? I've heard of worse paradises and no mistake.
But fair Inesca was taken as ghoul by that Tzimisce monster Vukodlak. After such horrors as I have endured, after losing so much, I awake to find I have finally lost all. For I have lost her.
Yeah, not so fast, Squire. There's two ways your bird might be around. Ghouls can live as long as us licks. Of course, she'd need a constant supply of Tzimisce blood, or she'll fall apart faster than Thatcher's reforms. And if one of them fiends embraced her, she'd be around today as one of us. Well, as a Tzimisce.
Thou dost compound my misery. I dare not hope such a thing. 'Twould be a curse if fair Inesca lived in such a state for 1,000 years.
Take it from old Pink. Anything's better than the quiet of the grave. There's hope even for us licks. We can climb the path to the summit. Or some such.
Thou art on the road of humanitas?
There's a little bit of a giveaway if you know what more.
Something like that.
Thou speakest true. Should Inesca have been preserved for lo these many centuries, I shall seek after her. Whether she is ghoul to that monster Vukodlak, or one of his vampires, I shall find her. Find her and destroy him. He will pay in angry blood. And if I find only her grave, I shall be exceedingly glad for her soul.
Rare thing, such passion in licks. Bloodless pack of cowards these days. Tell you what, I'll help you find this bird, Inesca. I hates the Tzimisces too. I could enjoy sinking me fangs into a fiend or two.
My Lord Pink, thou art honorable. I accept thy
He ends
kindly
up
offer.
with you either way, so you might as well be friendly about it.
To tell me what's what. The Camarilla have a million little rules. Wipe yourself with the wrong hand, and these licks will call down the Justicars on you.
What?
Nothing, just a joke.
Thou art unlike the vampires of my world, for most only assisted me for their personal gain.
Well, what's left of us, Bruiser, gotta stick together. Even if you are a mouldy old fossil. So, where did you last see this bird of yours?
I last beheld Inesca before the collapse of the Tzimisce stronghold in Prague. I have since learned that the Tzimisce have traveled from thence to London, and by sea to a land west of London called New York. Perhaps this New York lies within Ireland.
No, ever since the famine, Ireland lies within New York.
There are isles west of Ireland?
There are isles west of Ireland? Yeah, I remember where he's
something
from.
like that. Little place called America. The United States thereof.
United States. An auspicious name. For I wish my own state reunited.
Oh, you're breaking my heart.
Perhaps in New York shall we find a criminal named Giovanni.
Giovanni? They ain't one guy. They're a whole clan. A whole clan of criminals. They snacked on old Cappadocius and sucked down all his juice. The entire Cappadocian clan is gone. And the Giovanni have their power.
I'm not
Kind of funny he
surprised.
doesn't make any
The
mention
Cappadocian
of
clan seemed oddly gullible
his
and ripe for
former
domination by
coterie member
schemers
and
even in
friend
my
who's a
day.
Cappadocian.
What
He just
became
says,
of the
oh, yeah,
Bruiser?
well, that's what happens.
What hasn't? The Bruiser are all kissed and made up with the Ventru now. In one big happy family called the Camarilla. The Toreador, the Gangrel, the Nosferatu, the loony Malkavians, even the Tremere are bosom buddies. Out of fear of Gehenna, mostly. Our real enemy is the Sabbat. Made up of the Zumitsi, the Masambra, and a pack of the most vicious licks in the world. I don't care for the snobs of the Camarilla any more than the next lick, but I don't want to dig my way out of a bloody grave. That's what the Sabbat do to you. Beat you to the brink of death, then bury you. When you start starving, you claw your way to the surface, the madness killing any bit of humanity in you. So I work with the Camarilla against the Sabbat.
My past is dead, and I am no longer a pawn servicing the whims of the elders and their jihad.
It ain't good to be alone out there. It helps to have a gang at your back. Especially if you want to find this Inesca. I can't help you find the Giovanni, but I can help you find out about any bootleg shipping. The filthy Setites run all the bootleg shipping in London. I know a Setite knocking shop on the East End. Now let's put the boot into some snakes, but watch yourself. The Setites are a real bad seed.
Knocking shop?
I know you had 'em in your day, Chris. Even a geezer like you can't be older than the world's oldest profession. Now come on, we're gonna need some supplies. You can sell some of that old junk and get some real weapons.
We require an armorer and an alchemist.
Something like that.
Alright, so when we leave here, it will get a little bit disjointed at one point because I accidentally went to the Setite thing first.
All these horseless carriages and
then had to backtrack and go find his arms merchant there. So I cut it and split it around, put the arms merchant first, and then went to the Setite place to finish it up with what he says, and then we get ready to go in.
Lights and weapons have no power to enthrall me.
There's still a few minutes left of this.
Shut up. Who asked you? You'll need me if you want to survive in this world.
As I say, it's been a long time since I played in the modern, so I'm kind of disoriented here in London, not knowing where I need to go, but we figure it out. So we gotta go that way. And we end up in the underground and pop out in East London. And we should go to the shop first, but I goofed up.
Let's see. Against all odds, peddlers and money changers defeated the priests and the nobles, so now merchants rule the world. Peasants rule themselves
If
by
you
voting
know
on who gets to be
Vampire
king
lore,
or
the
not.
tattoos he has might be a bit of a
Still
giveaway
believe the world was
as to what he
created in
really
7
is,
days,
but I won't spoil
even
it.
though men have walked on
Just
the
give you a
moon.
little heads up that he's not quite what he seems.
I shall see to it thou joins them on the moon, if thou dost not cease thy foolery.
You'll see, mate. Oof, I'm damned thirsty. I could go.
This I skipped through because this is kind of pointless. This is just a little bit of flavor, kind of like the earlier conversation you had with Willem in the Dark Ages, so just kind of skipped over that. So we go down to the shop, then we go back up to the where we start the
We need to
Setite
get you
bit.
some real weapons. Those ancient artifacts ain't gonna do shit against licks with guns. You need to sell some junk. I bet that necklace would fetch a tidy sum.
Never.
Oh, terribly sorry.
See, they don't show it, but the way he reacts, I almost wonder if he's not still wearing that amulet of St. Jude. So, I skipped over. I did before we go into this. It will have
Brace
what I
that
bought.
tender
them.
heart of yours, Chris. These damn Setite snakes ghoul the working girls and boys and sell them to
So
mortals.
thank you for watching.
kindred
We will
alike.
see you on the next one. Please give a like
Kindred
and
paid
subscribe if you get a
for
chance.
harlots, and the
And in the
Setites
next
feed
one,
on
we
the
will be
mortal
going and
customers.
killing some snakes.
The Jews
Have a good one.
leave
Later.
tired, but they never suspect a thing. Cozy as you please. The mistress of the place is a Setite called Lucretia. She sells some of their ghoul slaves to the Sabbat in America and runs drugs and weapons through those cargo ships of yours. Maybe she's picking up some extra cash moving mud for the fiends.